I started a game studio with less than $1,500. No investors, no funding, no Kickstarter, no savings account dedicated to this. Just a laptop, an internet connection, and a decision. Right now, UNNIN Games has 2 games in development. A YouTube channel, a Patreon, a Discord community, and weekly content going out across all platforms. The total money I've spent to get here is less than what most people spend on a new phone. So if you've been waiting for the right moment to start or the right budget, this video is for you. Here's exactly how I did it, step by step. Let me break down what you actually need to start. Not what people tell you that you need. What you actually need. A computer, any computer. Laptop, desktop, doesn't matter. If it can run a code editor and a web browser, it's enough. You don't need a gaming PC. You don't need a Mac. You need something that turns on and lets you work. A game engine or development framework. There are free options that are genuinely professional grade. Godot is completely free and open source. Unity has a free tier. And if you're using AI assistant development like I do, you might not even need a traditional engine at all. AI tools. This is the part that has changed everything in the last 2 years. Tools that help you code, plan, brainstorm, and solve problems that would have taken months to learn on your own. Many of them have free tiers or very affordable plans. A microphone. If you're going to make content, which I strongly recommend, you need decent audio. You don't need an audio setup. A USB microphone in a quiet room is enough. I use a HyperX plugged into my PC. And that's the starter kit. Everything else is optional until you need it. Here's where I've actually spent money so far. Platform fees. To publish a game on the Apple App Store, you need an Apple developer account. That's $100 per year. For Google Play, it's a one-time fee of $25. These are non-negotiable if you want your game on mobile. Art. I hired an artist to design the 24 Guardians for Guardian's Quest. This was the biggest single expense and the most important one, because I can't draw and the game lives and dies by its character's design. If art isn't your bottleneck, this cost might not apply to you. Education. I bought an online programming course early on. Was it strictly necessary? Probably not, with the tools available today, but it gave me a foundation that made everything after it faster. And that's it. Total roughly $1,500, spread over months. No single payment that broke the bank. No moment where I had to decide between this and rent. Everything else I use is free. Free game engine, free music from the YouTube audio library, free community platforms. The infrastructure to run an indie game studio in 2026 costs almost nothing. The only real currency is your time. Step 1. I decided what I wanted to build. Not a vague idea, a specific game, not a specific platform solving a specific frustration. For me, that was Guardian's Quest, a mobile game that didn't disrespect the player's time. Write it down. One paragraph. What is the game? Who is it for? And why does it need to exist? Step 2. I planned before I built. I mapped out the core mechanics, the features for a minimum viable product, an MVP, and the things I was deliberately leaving out. Planning is not wasted time. Planning is the reason I didn't spend 6 months building features I'd later delete. Well, I still deleted some, but less than I would have without a plan. Step 3. I started building. Not perfectly, not with all the skills I need. I used every tool available to fill the gaps in my knowledge. And I focused on getting something playable as fast as possible, not something polished. Step 4. I started creating content before the game was ready. This is the step most people skip, and I think it's the most important one after building the game itself. A YouTube channel, a Patreon, a Discord. I started documenting the journey while I was still on page 1 of it, because building an audience takes time, and if you wait until your game is done, you're already months behind. Step 5. I put the game in front of real people, testers, friends, anyone who would give honest feedback, and I listened, even when it hurt, even when it meant rebuilding systems I'd already spent weeks on. Step 6. I kept going. That's it. That's the step. The one that most people never reach. Just continuing to show up week after week, even when the numbers are small and the progress feels invisible. Let me tell you now what you don't need, because this list is longer than the one of things you do. You don't need a computer science degree. You don't need 5 years of programming experience. You don't need to know how to draw. You don't need investors. You don't need a business plan. You don't need an LLC on day one. You don't need a team. And most important, you don't need permission. Not from the market, not from your friends, not from anyone on the internet who tells you it's too competitive or too late or too risky. The barrier to starting a game studio in 2026 is not money, it's not skill, it's not access. It's the belief that you need more than you have. You don't. You have enough to start right now, today. But I want to be honest about something. Starting with no money doesn't mean starting with no cost. The cost is time, enormous amounts of time. Time that you could spend resting, socialize, doing anything else. Every hour I spend on UNNIN Games is an hour I'm trading from somewhere else in my life. Money can buy you speed, it can buy you health, it can buy you quality that takes years to develop on your own. Not having money means you do everything slower, harder, and more painfully. That's the trade-off, and it's worth being honest about it before you start. But it's a trade-off, not a wall. You can start with no money, you just can't start with no commitment. If you've been thinking about starting, stop thinking. Open a document, write down what you want to build and why. That's step one. You can do it tonight. If you want to see how this journey continues, subscribe. If you want to join a community of people who are building things from scratch, the Discord is free and the Patreon has a free tier. And if you're already started on your own, a studio or project with no budget, tell me about it in the comments. I want to hear how you did it. This is UNNIN Games. Let's build